Hello everyone, I'm Debbie Lee and I am with the White Samurai Investment Group today, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be covering global investing, diversification, and the mindset that separates ordinary investors from those who build lasting wealth. And over the last year, since working at White Samurai, I have been working closely with everyday people trying to take control of their finances. I have noticed a common pattern. So many hardworking individuals are doing everything right in their eyes. They're saving diligently, paying off debt, investing in local stocks, yet they still feel stuck. Like financial freedom is just out of reach. And here's the hard truth. It's not because they aren't disciplined or capable. It's just because most of what we're taught about money is incomplete and a little bit limited, and sometimes a little bit misleading as well. So people are told to save for a rainy day, make sure that you've got like a bank account, a savings account for emergencies, or invest in only what you know. And while these lessons aren't wrong, they're only a small part of the larger puzzle. So what schools and parents, even many financial advisors, rarely explain how wealth is truly built. And it isn't just confined to one country or one currency or one type of investment. Most people are sure that keeping money in their home country feels safe. A local savings account, a pension fund, or the local stock market seems relatively secure, right? On the surface, but what feels safe can often be one of the riskiest approaches for long-term wealth. Inflation quietly erodes savings, local markets stagnate or crash, and political, economic, or currency shifts can hit your money in ways that you have little control over. And I have seen so many people follow the safe route their entire lives, only to realize decades later that their money didn't grow the way that it could have. And they're left wondering why their effort didn't translate into true financial freedom. So in contrast with that, people that build wealth consistently are people who think like global investors. They don't just rely on one market or one economy. They diversify their money across industries and countries and currencies. They set up massive income streams that earn while they sleep. And they really understand the real meaning of financial strength, which is resilience and control and freedom, not just a number sitting in a bank account. So in this video, we are going to explore 3 critical topics that will completely shift the way that you think about money. So number 1, the power of diversification and why safe savings aren't always safe. So let me write that down. Power of actual diversification. That is a big word. Okay. So for that topic, we will break down why concentrating your money in one place is a silent risk, and how spreading it globally can protect and grow your wealth. Number 2, how the wealthy make money in their sleep, and how you can too. wealthy. How the wealthy earn money in sleep. So for that topic, this isn't about luck or connections. It's just about building the systems, generating passive income, and making your money work for you consistently. And number 3, what nobody teaches in school, in brackets, the real meaning of financial strength. So what school doesn't teach you. So for that topic, we will be breaking down why schools really teach us what wealth actually is, and we will also show you the mindset and strategy needed to create lasting financial power. So by the end of this video, you're going to see that building wealth isn't reserved for the rich or the lucky. It's just about systems, global thinking, and strategic habits. Habits that you can start applying today, whether you're just starting out or trying to grow your portfolio or looking to finally feel secure about your future. The lessons in this video will help you see opportunities you didn't even know existed and give you the tools to act on them. So, if you are ready to stop feeling like wealth is something that other people get to have and start building it yourself strategically, globally, and consistently, this video is for you. So, before we get into that, I will just like to share a story about someone that I have met since working for White Samurai. So I will call her Sarah. So Sarah grew up in a working class family, like so many of these people watching the video and myself. Her parents worked tirelessly, juggling multiple jobs over their whole entire lives, just trying to get to the next bill, just trying to make everything, all of the ends meet. And they instilled one lesson in her: save your money, don't take risks, be safe. So from a young age, Sarah, just like me, absorbed that mindset. She believed that financial safety came from keeping money close in a local savings account, a pension account, or a familiar investment. So for years, Sarah did everything that she was supposed to, right? She followed all the rules, she saved diligently, paying off her bills, occasionally investing in her local stock market, and avoiding anything that seemed complicated or foreign. She even prided herself on being cautious with her finances. So on paper, she looked very responsible. But then over time, she began to notice something quite troubling. Despite years of careful saving and working hard, her money wasn't growing the way that she expected. And inflation silently eroded her savings. Her local market had a few strong years, but mostly it was quite stagnant. And unfortunately, there were a couple of opportunities elsewhere in the world. Industries were booming in Asia, multinational companies expanding in Europe, tech innovations across borders were growing exponentially, and Sarah's money wasn't participating. It took a wake-up moment for her to realize the problem. She met a mentor who introduced her to the idea of global investing and diversification. So suddenly, the rules that she had grown up believing in were challenged. The safe local savings that she clung to, in reality, were limiting her financial growth. Her portfolio concentrated in one country and one market that was vulnerable to risks that she hadn't even considered, like inflation, economic downturns, and local social and political changes. So at first, Sarah felt overwhelmed. Global markets sounded complex and foreign currencies were quite intimidating. The international investment platforms seemed also very confusing, but she started small. She explored global ETFs, diversified her holdings across multiple industries and countries, and began learning about how passive income streams, how to create them. She realized that building wealth wasn't about luck or having a high-paying job. It was about creating systems that allowed her money to work for her, even while she slept. Sarah made mistakes along the way, obviously. She underestimated currency fluctuations. She misjudged a few international trends and experienced small losses. But each of those challenges, each of those losses taught her something very important. Diversification is not just a buzzword, it's literally a tool for resilience. And by spreading her investments across multiple borders and industries and asset types, she reduced risk and created multiple pathways for growth. She also learned to focus on long-term strategy instead of reacting to short-term market noise. So within a couple of years, the changes were noticeable. Her portfolio began to grow faster than all of the people around her who only stayed local. She was earning passive income from international dividends and rental properties. She had the confidence to make informed financial decisions rather than feeling trapped by local market limitations. And most importantly, she understood a lesson that none of the schools or any of these kind of places never taught her. Financial strength isn't about how much money you have, it's about control, resilience, and the ability to capitalize on opportunities where they appear in the world. So Sarah's story is unique. I have also been there. It's a pattern that I've also seen countless of times during my time at White Samurai. So ordinary people who apply global thinking, diversify intelligently, and focus on passive income and long-term financial strength consistently outperform those who stick only to safe local savings. The difference isn't in resources or luck, it's mindset and strategy. The lesson here is quite clear. Working hard and saving locally is important, but it's not enough. Safe money always isn't safe. And the comfort of familiarity can actually hold you back. Real wealth is built by seeing beyond the borders, taking educated risks, allowing your money to grow in places you may not even understand yet. When ordinary people adopt this mindset, they begin to build extraordinary portfolios. The kinds that can withstand economic shocks and generate income automatically and grow steadily over decades. So Sarah's journey also shows that transformation is possible for anyone. She didn't inherit wealth. She also wasn't born into privilege. She didn't have the insider knowledge, and she just had a willingness to question all of the old beliefs, embrace global opportunities, and take small, consistent actions. And over time, those actions compounded into real financial strength, the kind that schools never teach most people ever. So that brings us to topic number 1, the power of diversification, actual diversification. When most people think about building wealth, they picture safety. So when they picture safety, they are also picturing, like, they're thinking of a local bank, whatever your local bank is, your pension account, or investing in a familiar company in their home country. But on the surface, these do feel responsible, and they are responsible, but they're not responsible for building long-term generational wealth. And here's the truth: what feels safe often is the riskiest path to long-term wealth. Why? Because concentrating all of your money in one market that has one currency or one type of investment exposes you to a single point of failure. Local economies can stagnate, political instability can affect markets, interest rates can rise or fall, inflation quietly erodes the real value of your savings. The more your wealth depends on a single factor, the more vulnerable you really are. So this is where diversification comes in. Diversification is more than just spreading your money across different stocks or sectors. It's about spreading risk globally across industries, asset classes, and currencies. It's one of the most effective tools for protecting your money while also creating opportunities for growth. So I'll use a relatable example here that kind of makes a little bit more sense. So imagine this person, Tom. Tom has around $50,000. That's quite a lot of money, and invests all of it in his local stock market because that's what he is comfortable with, and that is what is there for him. For a few years, his portfolio grows modestly, and he does feel secure. Then his country faces an economic downturn, perhaps due to inflation or political unrest or whatever it may be, the market crash. So suddenly Tom's $50,000 has lost value, and he has no other investments to rely on. So his money is trapped essentially. And contrast Tom with someone called Lisa. Lisa also has $50,000, but instead of concentrating it locally, Lisa spreads her investments, some in her local market, of course, some in international ETFs, a portion in bonds in another country, and a little in emerging markets. When her home market slows, the other investments continue to grow. She doesn't experience the same level of risk or stress, and that is the power of diversification. It's insurance for your wealth while also creating pathways for growth. Diversification allows you to capitalize on global trends. While one country's economy might be stagnant, other regions might be booming. Think of tech growth in the United States, right? And renewable energy in Europe, or emerging consumer markets in Asia. If you limit yourself to your home country, you miss out entirely. Wealthy investors know this instinctively as well. They follow global cycles and strategically position themselves to benefit from growth whenever it happens, wherever it happens. But diversification isn't just about geography, it's also about asset types. Stocks are one piece of the puzzle, but there are also bonds and real estate, and even alternative assets like private equity or cryptocurrencies can all play a role. Each asset behaves differently in various market conditions. So having a mix reduces volatility and increases stability over time. And another key point is diversification reduces emotional risk. So when your money is spread across multiple investments, actually I'm going to write that down. I probably should be writing the other ones down as well. Reduces volatility, increases stability. Reduces emotional risk. So when you spread your money across multiple investments, downturns in one area won't cause any panic or impulsive decisions, right? Because something might be happening with one thing, but then all the rest of your other things aren't reacting. So you don't, there isn't much emotional fluctuation. So ordinary investors often sell at the worst possible time because all of their eggs are in one basket. Diversification prevents that, allowing you to stay calm and focused and consistent, which is exactly what builds wealth over the long term. Some people worry that diversification will limit gains, but the truth is the opposite. While it might slightly reduce the impact of a single massive win, it increases the likelihood of steady compound growth over decades. So why wouldn't you? Wealth isn't built overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. And global diversification is the most reliable strategy to achieve that. Now, consider savings accounts. So many people think their money is safe in a local bank account because it's insured or guaranteed, but inflation erodes the purchasing power of that money every year. A $10,000 balance that earns 1% interest while inflation is at 5% is effectively losing money, slowly and quietly, but very dangerously. True financial safety doesn't come from keeping money still. It comes from moving it intelligently across diversified income generating investments. Even the small steps do matter. You don't need millions of dollars to diversify globally. Tools like international ETFs, mutual funds, and online platforms do make it possible for ordinary investors to access markets around the world. You can start with a portion of your portfolio learn the ropes and scale as you gain more confidence. The key is just getting started and staying consistent. So, diversification also builds resilience against life uncertainties, right? Should I write that down? Get started and stay consistent. All right. Resilience. From life. So, diversification creates resilience with life uncertainties. So, maybe you lose your job, maybe the whole market crashes, or unexpected expenses are less devastating when your wealth isn't tied to one place. The wealthy understand that financial security isn't about avoiding risk entirely, it's about spreading it intelligently. So, diversification fosters financial freedom. It allows you to step back from daily financial stress and focus on strategy rather than survival. It's not about money, it's about creating options in life. The option to pursue opportunities, take risks wisely, and live without financial fear, finally. So, in short, diversification is the foundation of modern wealth. Modern wealth building. Safe savings won't create financial wealth. True wealth comes from spreading risk intelligently across markets, currencies, industries, asset types that allow your money to grow no matter what happens locally. So, by adopting this mindset and strategy, ordinary people, working class people, can take control of their financial future and build portfolios that are not only protected but positioned to grow globally, just like the wealthy do. So, speaking of the wealthy, that brings us to topic number 2. How the wealthy make money in their sleep. So, one of the biggest differences between ordinary investors and the wealthy isn't how much they earn, it's how they think about money and income. Most of the working class, obviously they're called the working class because they work, most of these people work a 9 to 5 days a week, sometimes even 6 or 7 days a week. There might be side hustles, but they just kind of hope that their effort translates into financial security somehow. Their income stops when they stop as well. That's the reality for quite a lot of us. It is the reason that so many hardworking people feel like they're constantly running on a treadmill. Wealthy people, on the other hand, make their money work for them. Even while they sleep, they create streams of incomes that don't depend on their active labor. This is what separates ordinary people from those who build long-term lasting wealth. They focus on passive income. So, what does passive income mean? Passive income. So, it comes in a couple of different forms. So it may look like some dividends from global stocks that companies pay regular dividends that allow investors to earn cash simply just by holding the shares. It might also look like interest from bonds. So bonds provide steady, predictable income over time. It might also look like real estate rentals, properties that generate monthly rental income, provide a consistent cash flow without daily effort. It might also look like digital products or online businesses. So once created, ebooks, courses, or apps can continue to earn revenue for years. It might also look like royalties and intellectual property. So creative works, patents, and trademarks can create streams of income long after the initial work is done. And the key is that these income streams they're systems, they're not jobs, right? Wealthy people build structures that generate money for them continuously, rather than relying solely on their personal physical labor. And the beauty is, you don't need to be a millionaire to start. Even small, consistent investments can grow into significant income streams over time. So I'll give you an example of this. We will call them Alex. So Alex is a young professional. He always thought investing meant buying new local stocks, right? Just like most of us. So one day that he decided to research dividend paying companies internationally. He started small, purchasing shares in a few global firms known for consistent dividends, and a year later he was earning a small but steady income. This encouraged Alex to expand his investments into global ETFs, some real estate, crowdfunding platforms, and even digital assets. So after he did all of that as well, within a few years, his portfolio started producing income that exceeded far what he could earn from working overtime at his actual work. So without even adding extra hours either. So this example highlights a crucial point. Passive income compounds. Every dollar earned through dividends, rent, royalties can be reinvested, creating exponential growth over time. The wealthy understand this principle very intuitively. Ordinary people can adopt the same mindset, think in terms of systems and not hours. Another important lesson is the global advantage. Wealthy investors don't restrict themselves to one country or one market. They understand that the opportunity rotates globally. Let me write that down. Global advantage. So this means that when one economy slows down, another one might also be booming. By spreading investments internationally, they create multiple income streams across regions and currencies. This strategy not only increases potential growth, but it reduces the risk because their income isn't tied to one single market or economy. All of their eggs are not in one basket. So, of course, building passive income requires discipline and strategy, and you have to be consistent. You can't just put it in there and then that's it. Many people try the kind of elusive get rich quick schemes and jump into risky ventures that hope for immediate returns. But the wealthy avoid this unless they're like some kind of professional at whatever they're doing. They focus on long-term consistent systems. So they research all the markets, they diversify intelligently and reinvest their earnings rather than spending them immediately. It's this combination of patience and systemization that creates wealth that truly works while they sleep. There is also a mindset shift required. So many people believe they need a huge amount of money to start generating passive income. That's a myth. Even small steps count. Buying dividend-paying ETFs with just a couple of $100, starting a digital side project, or investing in small real estate opportunities can begin generating passive income. And over time, consistent action and reinvestment in multiple returns provide that financial growth that is accessible to anyone willing to adopt the right mindset. So let's talk about the mistakes that people also make. So some try to generate passive income without understanding the risk. They put all of their money into a single stock, into a single property, or a single country. If that investment fails, they lose everything. Others expect instant results and give up when income streams just don't generate passive returns overnight. So passive income is rarely immediately. It is not immediately. It is about the compounding that happens over time. And finally, many people neglect diversification, the actual proper diversification. Passive income works best when it's spread over multiple investments and markets. Otherwise, it's just a disguised form of active risk. So the takeaway is quite clear. Ordinary people can adopt these same habits as the wealthy to start earning while they sleep. The tools exist, the opportunities are global, and the mindset is learnable. It's very simple. By starting small, focusing on multiple income streams, reinvesting consistently, and thinking long term, you can build wealth that grows automatically, giving you freedom, security, and financial strength. Passive income is not about luck or connections. It is about discipline and global thinking. So the sooner that you start, the sooner your money begins to work for you instead of the other way around. And remember, every small step does compound. Even if you just start with one dividend paying stock, one international investment, or one tiny little baby rental property, you are planting seeds for financial growth that can last a lifetime. So this brings us to topic number 3. What nobody teaches in school. So AKA, in other words, the real meaning of financial strength. So when most people think about financial strength, they imagine a big salary or a crazy fancy house or a large, huge, insane bank balance. Schools, parents, and society as well often reinforce this idea. If you earn more, you're financially stronger. But that's not always the truth. Financial strength is not about income or appearance. It's about resilience, control, and the ability to make your money work for you. So, let me write that down for you. Financial equals resilience, control, and the ability to make your money work for you. So, let me explain. The financial strength is the skill of protecting and growing your wealth across time, across markets, across circumstances. It's not about how much you make today, but it is about how prepared and flexible your wealth is for tomorrow. It's what separates the wealthy from all of the rest of us. The wealthy can withstand shocks like all the economic downturns, all the market crashes, personal setbacks, because they have built systems and habits that protect and grow their assets globally. So think of it this way. Sarah, the woman earlier from my story, had been so diligent with her local savings and local investments, but she still financially was vulnerable. Her money was concentrated in one place, and her financial decisions were reactive and not strategic. She was safe in her own eyes, but in reality, she was exposed. Once she began diversifying globally, investing in passive income streams and learning how to measure her wealth in terms of systems and resilience rather than the amount of numbers in her bank account, she developed true financial strength. Financial strength is also about control. Many people feel many people feel wealthy when they earn a high salary. But that doesn't mean that you're good with your money. You might be earning a lot of money, but where is it really going? And in reality, their money controls them. They live paycheck to paycheck. There's overextending on credit cards, multiple loans. And they just have a very expendable lifestyle. So, which is all tied to a single source of income. So real financial strength comes when your money works for you, not the other way around. By diversifying, building passive income, thinking globally, you gain the real freedom to make decisions without being held hostage by immediate financial pressures. So another key aspect of financial strength is resilience. Life is unpredictable. As many of you know, obviously, life is very unpredictable. The markets crash when it feels like so unexpectedly. Economies slow down. Job loss is quite scary, but it does happen. And if you continue to live your life without these systems in place, it may seem like you are stable, but you're still vulnerable. The wealthy understand this as well. They prepare accordingly. They don't rely on luck, they rely on the structure. A diversified portfolio, multiple income streams, and global investments are not just growth tools, they're safety nets. They allow you to endure all of the financial stress and unexpected downturns and unexpected everything, all of the crazy storms, without just losing everything and then having to start all over again. So let's also talk about mindset. So schools teach arithmetic, then reading and science and humanities, but they rarely teach how to make money, how to do your taxes, right? We never learned how to do taxes. You just have to work it out. They also don't tell you how to manage risk or think long-term about financial systems. Most people enter adulthood thinking they can rely on their job, their pension account, or even just their regular savings account in their bank. But life rarely adheres to all of these guarantees. Some people might coast through life without any financial stress at all. And statistically, that's probably happened, but also it's more statistically likely to be more apparent that you and I are gonna be stressed about finances at least one time in our lives. So understanding financial strength requires thinking in systems and not single numbers. It is also about asking, if my local economy crashes, can I sustain myself without, all of these streams? If I stop working tomorrow, can my income continue? Am I building wealth that grows regardless of short-term conditions? I don't know, you have to ask yourself. Most wealthy people answer yes, because that is what they have created. They've created all of those systems that back themselves up. And they've learnt to measure wealth in terms of control, stability, and also growth. They don't just measure themselves on how much money they've got in the bank, even though statistically wealthy people on average probably have more money, but it's how they continue to keep their money and keep growing their money as well. It's just about perspective that ordinary people can adopt this mindset. They can adopt this way of thinking, and we can also adopt a set of actionable strategies that anyone can apply to themselves. So financial strength also requires long-term thinking. Ordinary investors often chase quick wins or react emotionally to the market, news, all of these political affects that are happening. The wealthy ignore short-term noise and focus on decades-long growth strategies. They reinvest their dividends back to leverage the compounding, and it helps consistently to allocate resources across global markets. This approach isn't glamorous, and it might seem very overwhelming if you've gotten this far in the video and you're like, what? It's okay. It's okay. And it might seem very unglamorous, quite overwhelming, and it also is not discussed anywhere in schools, but It is what builds true financial power over time. So let me give you an example. If you're like, Deb, what the hell? Gotten this far, but now just everything's gone in one ear and out the other. So let us imagine two individuals. So there is Jamie, who focuses on earning a high salary and saving locally, and Mia, who invests strategically across multiple global markets and builds passive income streams. Jamie might feel wealthy, but if a local recession were to happen, wherever they live, it might be here in the US, what if another recession happens? Or inflation spikes so insanely, or the currency is devaluated quite quickly. And all of these factors influence Jamie's livelihood, essentially. And it can erode his net worth. But Mia, on the other hand, has resilient wealth. She has diversified all of her assets, income that continues regardless of local conditions, and the ability to make strategic decisions without panicking. That is also a very good habit to build eventually. So Mia technically is financially very strong, and Jamie is financially quite fragile despite the appearances. So financial strength is also ties into opportunity. So when you have global resilience and global diversified wealth, you have options, right? You can invest. You are used to all of these different ventures that are different because they're not in your local community or local way of life and thinking. If you eventually adopt this global diversification, it also opens you to a plethora of opportunities. So now you can leverage all of your income and diversification even further. So you can invest further in newer markets. You could start a business, not even in your local country. You can seize all of these opportunities that other people can't because of your financial foundation that allows you to take all of these calculated risks. So all of the, like ordinary folk often avoid these seemingly different risks out of fear because they don't know, they don't understand them. But the wealthy create learning and education into consideration when building long-term growth. So they take their time to learn about these things. Just search it up. What's a very popular global ETF with dividends? Search it. How do I invest in it? How do I create passive income streams outside of my country? Just search it. The wealthy take educated risks because their systems provide stability. So financial strength is accessible to everyone. It is accessible to everyone, but it requires you personally to unlearn all of these false narratives about money. Let me write that down. Accessible to everyone. So it requires work on your part. It requires unlearning all of these false narratives about money that you have grown up with. It isn't about luck or falling into the right place at the right time, being offered certain opportunities that other people don't get access to. It's not about inheritance. It's not about, generational wealth already being handed to you. And it's also not about getting that very high earning job. It's just about education, global thinking, and disciplined action. So you can start today by diversifying your investments globally, building passive income streams, however that may be, measuring wealth in terms of resilience, control, and freedom instead of what physical numbers you have in the bank, thinking long-term rather than reacting to short-term fluctuations. So when you adopt this mindset, you start seeing all of the other people out there that are just stuck in their ways, and you can spot them. You can see how thinking the way that you do is very scary. So when you adopt this mindset, you also start to see just ordinary people that are doing the exact same thing that you are, creating extraordinary portfolios. So you realize that true wealth isn't just the number in your bank. It's about power to make choices, withstand setbacks, and grow consistently over time. And that's exactly what financial strength is. It's not just surviving, but it's thriving, right? You don't want to just survive, you want to thrive, no matter what the world throws at you. So, as this video is ending, if this inspired you to take control over your financial future, please reach out to White Samurai on their website or even on their YouTube channel as well. Here on YouTube, just leave a comment on this video or any of my other videos, or send me a message. And I'll also leave their website in the description box so it's easily accessible for you. And if you head to their website, they have a query button. You can send a little form and write all your money woes, and they will try to get back to you with the best of their ability. And please explore their YouTube channel. It is very informational and very direct about what they do. So there are also more insights on global investing, diversification, and building real financial strength. So whether you're just starting or you're looking to scale your portfolio, their experts are ready to help guide you step by step towards achieving true financial freedom. So as a summary for this whole entire video, thank you for making it this far. So safe savings and local investments may feel secure, but real wealth comes from global diversification, passive income, and understanding true financial strength. Ordinary people can create extraordinary profiles by spreading risk, thinking strategically, and building all of the systems that grow their finances consistently over time. Financial power is not taught in school, it's taught right here. And it's learned and applied. So thank you again for making it this far. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos that I do very deep dives about financial freedom. So if you want to check out the White Samurai Investment Group for personalized guidance, just reach out to them or myself and we'll help you with the next step. So thank you everyone. Have a good morning, noon or good night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video.